I hope you can hear me anyway, because I'm talking pretty loudly. So thanks, Vanessa, a lot for this lovely introduction. And it's our pleasure to be here with you today. We're going to talk about our data champions. So welcome to Cambridge. We love our university, but there is a big problem with our university. It's big. So it's a very complex network of departments, faculties, schools, and colleges as well, and other institutions. And there is a need to push all of these institutions into one right direction. So it's not an easy task. But luckily, to help with that, we have our Office of Scholarly Communication, and it's headed by Danny Kingsley. I'm not sure where she is. Okay, hello, Danny. And I'm in the team working on the research data that is headed by Laura Cadwallader, so you heard from her on the beginning. And what we do in the research data team. So we work with the data repository, we help with data management plans, we help with data policies, data sharing, and also we do the training for research data management. And actually this last part was like a trigger in the office to start the data champions, because it was before I joined the team. You can imagine the big university, so what is the demand for the training? It's a big training, and there is plenty of different disciplines to cover, and 2 people in the office doing the training. So this is the slide that was produced by Marta, the better Marta, and she was at the time in the office. Now she's in Holland, and she will also give a talk later saying what she's doing, and she called it Mission Impossible, of course. I'm sure that you agree with that. And Rosie, she's also here, and she's also gonna give a talk. And now she's in Manchester, and Marta and Danny, who's still luckily with us here, came with the idea to recruit the researchers to talk about the good data management and sharing practices. So there was a call for data champions, and the researchers were recruited from different disciplines, well, mainly life sciences and physical sciences, chemistry, technology, engineering, some humanities, and mainly they were postdoc students, PIs. So I'm not sure if this works. Nope, no, that's not the pointer. Anyway, and also data professionals, librarians, IT experts. So a nice range of people. So when I took over the project, we had a big forum for champions to let them update us on their activities. And during this forum, it became apparent that the data champions are doing plenty of exciting things. So I won't go into details of this. This is just like showing how many different things we need to tackle, how many problems, potential solutions, because we're gonna talk about this through the whole day today. But like nice example, you can see on the bottom they're like sending the researchers the bite-sized emails. So not to overload them, but like having like a tip of the day for the researchers. So this was a very good idea. And as you learn already from Hardy's talk, that the free food, talking about bites, also works very well to get the people interested in research data management. And likewise, how to convince people to do the fair research. So all this list, not going into details now, but it's to show how the program evolved from the initial idea to help with research data management training. And this is still working very well, and we'll have another excellent talk and example from Claire Castle from chemistry, showing how it can work. But data champions are like going into other directions as well. So some of them, they thought they need to smuggle the research data management bit into more exciting courses, so something that researchers will be, oh, that's interesting. And there was a big work from some of the champions. It's in promoting the electronic laboratory notebooks, which are very important for doing proper research. And some of our champions are actually setting the good example on their own persons. So we have fair researchers in data champions. And we're also very proud that we have 4 these data champions awarded from our team. So Anna-Marie, Melissa, Andy, and Sergio. Well, congratulations and thanks to GISC again. And of course, there are still problems. So one of the problems is that we do not have many researchers from humanities, and this is something we are trying to get more people more interested to, as we've been already saying today, to convince them that they do have data, because that's like a first step to get over. And unfortunately, still lack or not enough support from the senior researchers. Yes, this is very important to make it happen. Also, like data champions by themselves, they are researchers. They are not paid to do research data management or promoting FAIR. So sometimes their PIs are actually against, oh, you're wasting your time doing that. So definitely this is an issue, and we need to find a solution. So perhaps one of the solutions would be to go into professional things, and this is again pointing to Marta, who's going to talk us about the data stewards. So in other places, they may be the solutions. So it can be like a next phase of the program. But I think this is a brilliant. I was a data champion myself, and when I joined, I was so excited about the whole thing, and I still think it's a great thing. The volunteers, they are real researchers. They are really doing research, and yeah, they would be happy to provide the direct feedback of what is needed. And yeah, we also have different opportunities and trainings for champions, and like this event, for example, we hope will be collaborating with all of you. And I'm giving over to Sergio.
This one, yeah.
Oh, you got this one.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I was just, I'm a data champions in the Cambridge part of data champions, and I just wanted to share with you a bit of a personal touch of what it means to me to be a data champion. So for me, it started pretty recently, pretty much when I was a kid. Looking back at it, I was thinking of it like my first data management project was try to sort out my toys and my cards with dinosaurs and cowboys and Indians. And that was a bit of a data management problem, like putting them in different boxes and having them all gathered around, and that was pretty exciting. But then things got serious, and then I got my first job, and then my sister and I, we had to sort out my parents' library, and they had books all over the place, and they had them around 1,000 books or so. And then we just had to create some kind of database so that they could find things more effectively around the house. So my sister and I sort of got on, and we got paid for that, and it was a great thing, sort of as a teenage job. And so one of the struggles that I came across when I was studying chemistry at the university was the need of finding data for my assays and my projects. So we were asked to write physical chemistry assays, and then we had to go to the library and go through books, and mainly textbooks, and then try to get tables out and use those parameters and those data for our projects. And that was quite of a challenge, actually. And then now, based at the Cancer Research UK, and then during my PhD at the EMBL-EBI, I've also been able to see the challenges at sort of a larger scale, and now at the group we're sort of setting up some strategy how to manage the data, our data efficiently. So this is what we're trying to do in the group at the moment. We have that projects are mainly shared between experimentalists and computational researchers, and so the basic idea is that we move from the initial ideas and the initial scripts when the data is private, and everything goes more into the public and open data as the project progresses. And so yeah, from a computational point of view, we start writing our scripts and developing robust pipelines, then creating figures and tables, and then experimentally the method starts to work. We start answering biological questions, we start writing up the paper, and then document the computational code, which finally leads to a paper. We tend to use GitHub to do everything that relates to managing the code, and then we created an account in our lab where the different computational members contribute to that. And then in terms of data, we tend to use sort of biology-specific repositories like the Array Express and the European Nucleotide Archive at the EBI. So there is a lot of exciting things happening in Cambridge. It's amazing amount of activities that we got across the 150 departments. So this is just a few examples that we're sort of drawing a lot of motivation from different data champions across the university. So I have forums taking place, workshops and tutorials, one-to-one meetings, sort of mentoring schemes taking place too. Some of our colleagues are also running surveys where they're trying to find out what are the needs in their department in terms of data management. This is the energy and driven is mainly by the Office of Scholarly Communication, but also on an individual basis from people at the education department, psychology. So some of us are here in the audience. So for instance, we have a very exciting project from like Anne-Marie that I think she's sitting there. So she's running a survey at her department where she's trying to find out what are the needs there with master and PhD students. Very, very exciting. Things happening in economics too, and then also across the life science and physical science, in biochemistry, and in chemistry with Claire Castle that you will hear later, and many more. Yeah, so this is just a final slide. These are a few things that I've been involved with. So we created at Wilson College, which is one of the 33 colleges at the university, we created a data science group where master students and PhD students, they come, and then we meet informally, and then we create small workshops on different aspects of data management. So this was the summer program that we had, and we talk about surveys, we talk about GitHub, how to do social network analysis, and this greatly benefited from a program that is running in the college called the Skills for Academic Success program. So another thing that we're doing at the Cancer Research UK is this very exciting workshop called Avoiding Data Disasters. And the idea here is to teach master students and PhD students too how to work with data more effectively, how to back up their data when they come to start doing their initial analysis. Oops, okay. Okay, I probably just gonna go through it quickly. And then, yeah, this is mainly driven by Mark, and yeah, it's been very exciting as part of bioinformatics training. We're also doing very exciting things in chemistry with Claire. You will hear about it later on. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, thanks.
So thank you very much indeed to Cambridge for their story. Did you mention that you have about 40 champions here, don't you?
Yes.
About 40. So I mean, there's really amazing work going on here. So I'm sure you've got questions. Please go ahead. Anybody good at catching?
Oh gosh, hi. Oh wait, no, this is much better, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question specifically for you, Sergio. And I think that's a kind of crucial your answer is really important for us to understand to what where we are in data management and promotion data management. Do you feel that your efforts, and clearly you have done a lot, your efforts as a researcher in data management have contributed to your career? Do you see it, has it been a way to promote your career as a researcher?
I think so. I mean, it has helped me develop my training skills. This is something as a researcher, I'm not really able to train. I mean, I'm able to mentor students and PhD students, but not able to develop a course into something, and that personally has helped me doing that.
But it's kind of more in terms of career and academically. Have you seen any benefits yet?
Not yet, not yet. But I mean, I have to say, I only just recently started doing these things, maybe 6 months, 1 year ago. So probably looking forward to see them maybe long time.
Thank you.
It would be great actually if the founders would really acknowledge seeing such a thing on the CV for the grant application. Oh, this is someone who really cares about the data, so we can be more convinced that this person would do the good research.
That's happening. The Wellcome Trust on their grant report form are asking for this. That's happening.
That's great.
Sorry, I think there was somebody at the back.
Hi, I'm here from University College of Southeast Norway, and Marta, I was interested in your point because we are just getting started with research data management, and as part of our pre-work, we sent a Cuesta survey to our researchers, our active researchers, and asked them, because we didn't know what we were getting into in a way. We didn't know how much they had or what they had. So I made a simple Cuesta and sent it. And I got a lot of emails from our humanities researchers saying, I don't have data. I have sources. I have primary sources. I go to the literature. I go to the books. So how and a lot of them do that. They go to the primary sources. But how do they then? How can we convince them that they do actually have data, even if they maybe don't realize it themselves? Or is there a really big difference in that? And how can we engage them better?
Well, our definition of data is really broad. So whatever we use to do the research on, it's basically a data. So it can be anything from collection of art. So art in itself, of course, it's art. But if they're items, then they will be a data contributing to. So our definition of the research is that it's based on data. So if we do not have a data, there is basically no research. Yes. So and I think we don't have it here, but we have a nice slide showing what can be named as a data. So basically anything that is used for research. So it's just a definition. That the problem is that people associate most of humanities. They see data. Oh, that's something with computing, and this is because that was called in the first place in the computing sciences. But it's far broader. So yeah, that's a good point. We can talk more about this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, even now, but I'm not sure if we have time.
No.
Probably give room for some more questions to others, but
Yeah.
in the lunch break, perhaps you can follow on.
Yeah, maybe you can
Thank
pass
you.
it down. I'm horrible to it. Oh,
Thank you. I'm dreading that. Hi, Helen Cooper, University of Kent. I'm quite interested in if you've got 40 data champions. What sort of a role how much intervention do you need to take, and what's the kind of workload in coordinating, if at all, or do you just let them run wild?
Well, some are running wild without the permission. Well, we are trying now to, as what you've seen, what I showed, it's this evolution. So once I just very recently joined this, so I shouldn't say exactly what was the idea to start with, but it's really getting wild, but we are still trying to take advantage of this, because having the different expertise, different possibilities that champions can do, and they can actually teach each other. And it's also in different disciplines, there may be a different way that people would like to be contacted approach. It's not always the same way that people will respond to what we want to say to them. So we are trying to, we have the fora every second month, and we discuss things, and we try to get it to know what is happening. But basically the data champions are researchers. They have freedom to do things, so we do not tell them, oh, don't do this, do it this way, because that's the whole point, to teach us how to do things, how to to connect to the real world. If this answers your questions.
Yeah, I was just wondering how much resource you put into it, really.
You mean resource
how much of your time is devoted to this?
Yeah, it's pretty complicated question. Well, maybe Danny wants to answer. Yeah, well, now pretty much, because I'm learning myself about this. So. Oh God.
Hello. So Marta currently is working pretty heavily on the Research Data Champions program, because we're sort of doing a lot of work to sort of restart and get things moving in a slightly different directions. But we're sort of hoping that in the longer term it would be, I don't know, maybe about a third about a third of her full-time time, to give an indication. I just want to pick up on the sources question about research data. We have just brought in at Cambridge a requirement for students to deposit their digital version of their thesis, and there's also a requirement that it be made open access within after 2 years as a maximum, unless there's extenuating circumstances. Now, this has thrown up all sorts of questions about third-party copyright. So one of the things that I would argue is that a research data management plan for a humanities researcher is, what do I do about clearing my third-party copyright rights? That is research data management when you're using sources. So just a point.